Well, good day, everybody. I'm joined again with Dr. Lynn McDonald, and today we're going to talk about balneotherapy, and that's a very important subject with our Levade products because we do have a product that you can use in the bathtub. So let me give you a little bit of experience on what I know about balneotherapy, and then we'll have Dr. Lynn talk about her experience, and we'll just chit chat about how we can do it and what are the benefits and how you can really enjoy, the mineral baths with the Levade MudTox. So welcome again, Lynn, and it's great to see you again. And let's dive into this subject. So for me, uh, balneotherapy, well, first of all, the name balneum, it's Latin, that means bath. So the word is actually meaningful in saying that you're actually treating any problems in your bathtub. And those are really ancient remedies that I learned way back in 1987, 88, where I traveled to Germany and spas because most of the baths, the spring baths, the mineral salts, the mineral baths, they were all in spas, or they call them sanatoriums over there because the government pays for government employees to go into these spas and get treatment. And the majority of these treatments were for inflammatory diseases like arthritis and rheumatism, and those treatments are of balneotherapy are very effective in those modes. So what I saw when I went into these sanatoriums were full submersible mud baths. So what actually pure mud, and they heated that at 115 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It was very warm. And there was a whole process, the whole protocol behind it, which is showering, sauna to increase the body temperature and the circulation, the scrubbing. We had the scrubbing brush, which is very popular there, or the curry brush to activate the adipose tissue. And they were used prior to going into these mud baths so that the body has full capacity through the skin, which is the largest organ of the body, to absorb these minerals to activate anti-inflammatory agents, but at the same time eliminate toxins. So that was a holistic approach as a treatment. And I really fell in love with that. And that's how I started in my own clinic to try to develop a full submersible bath. And I went through, ceramic tiles and tubing and trying to install this tub in my spa, to getting it, a technician develop a stainless steel tub, which we had water circulating in it to maintain this mud at 120 degrees. It was a lot of work. But we had 3 months waiting period for people to come to this bath session with my products way back in late 90s and 2000. And so it was a very popular treatment and very effective, if I may add. So it is an ancient technique, but I think that now with the powdered MudTox and the privacy of everybody owning a tub in their homes, you can actually do it in your own home instead of going into a spa and paying. For example, I was charging $150 for a 20-minute mud bath with all the protocols around it. So it was quite expensive, but people who came, really had results. So the powdered form is great. You can put 20 grams into a standard 45-gallon tub, and the effectiveness is how you actually do the bathing. So in my experience, what I tell people when you want to do a detox or you really want to treat something with the mineral bath from the MudTox is to start pouring your bath water and then put in the 20-gram powder and let it dilute, and then step in the tub and then turn on the hot water so that you can actually tolerate the hotter possible or the hottest possible temperature. And that is very important because the hotter it is, the more you go into this triggered response of sweating. And at the same time, you're creating hypercirculation on the circulatory system, and you're increasing the metabolism. And when that happens, when you're actually raising the metabolism, your body needs energy because you're not eating, you're not drinking or anything. So it has to go into your fat cells to burn off energy. And at the same time, you're losing weight. But we all know the skin is the largest organ of the body. And so why not treat all these inflammatory diseases through the skin in bathing in the privacy of your own home? And so the effectiveness is, you know, when I had a mud bath in my clinic, I used to put a cap of cold water going around the head so that it cools down. So what you can do is when you find it too hot, you can actually put a cold towel on your forehead to try to bring down the heat. But if you stay in this for 10 minutes, it takes about 10 minutes to trigger that response of sweating and chelation. So we recommend 20 minutes, and in a 20-minute bath, you're getting a therapeutic treatment to get rid of pain, reduce inflammation, treat that disease, that musculoskeletal disease, and absorb the minerals, and at the same time chelate heavy metals. So great response in my experience, and the mud bath is a very popular treatment and a very popular way of getting your minerals also. So that was my experience in balneotherapy, and I don't know if you have any experiences or personal experiences. We've got tons of testimonials of people taking baths and getting results to that also. So I'll let you talk about a little bit of your experiences in using this product in the bath.
Well, I love personally using it in the bath, and I'd never heard of using something in the bath as a treatment before, except for things like Epsom salts. I've heard of people putting Epsom salts in their bath or putting lavender essential oils and things like that. But until I discovered the fulvic and humic acid powder that you have, I never really thought of using a bath myself as a form of therapy, you know. But um, having done a series of 21 days of baths in a row with the fulvic and humic acid, which was a challenge in many ways. Finding time for self-care is so important.
That's
just,
the biggest challenge in people, is to do it
yeah,
consistently. And what you just mentioned is correct. It's 21 days is one of the best therapeutic time to really
yeah.
treat the problem you have. Right. Yes.
I think in that time, and I wasn't treating anything specific, but I was aware of excess fat that obviously a lot of women do have. Not saying a lot either, but I did, and it just fascinates me because I think what happens is the fulvic and humic gets absorbed through the skin straight into the fat cells, pulls the toxins out into the bath water, and then your body is able to release the stored fat cells. Because in my way of thinking about it, your fat cells store toxins because it's safer for your body to do it that way than to have the toxins floating around and harming the brain or the heart and things like that. So it's like they've almost like decided that's their lockup plan for toxins. So when you've got a way of releasing toxins just straight out of your body into the bath water, then anything that you're doing to lose fat is way more effective. And I was just astonished that I could see in front of my eyes changes happening. But yeah, it fascinates me because the you would think that the concept, like you've described, of going for a mud spa bath is going to be really expensive. You're going to have to go to some exotic spa somewhere, but we can simply just do this in our own home, which is just amazing.
Yeah. Yes. That's the beauty of it. Is, you know, as far back as maybe 15 years ago, you had to go into a spa to get these types of treatments. Now you can
Yeah,
do it in the privacy of your own home with the Lovati products. That's what's beauty. And you can
yeah.
spend more than 20 minutes in the tub. And heck, why
Mm.
not bring somebody else in the tub if you want? I mean, you know, the party's yours. And, you know, and I always tell people, you have to schedule a certain me time. And that could be your me time. You know, if you're doing it for 20 days, do the me time for me. Put in a candle. You know, you can include essential oils. You can put lavender essential oils, marjoram essential oils, any type of oils that, you know, in olfactory senses is breathing it. You're really getting the neurosenses also, and you're treating the other parts of your body and the energy, and it's just a great 20 minutes of downtime, and at the same time therapeutic for your body. I mean, it's a win-win for that type of treatment.
Yeah, it's I learned not that long ago that it does take 26 seconds for anything that you put on your skin to go into your blood circulation. And when we're talking about the bath, we're not even talking about it getting into your blood circulation. That's not the only thing it does. It goes into everywhere because it soaks right through your skin, gets to your extracellular fluid, which then gets into your bloodstream. But um, I had I had recently heard about a friend of mine's daughter who quite innocently she'd been given a bath bomb with really fine glitter in it, and
Okay.
her mum was like, well, this is going to be a real hassle, glitter off the bath after and everything, but she never thought anything more about it except that it was going to be a bit of fun for her girl, so she put that in. And I just wanted to talk about this because we think about all the good things we can do to our bodies, but there's also detrimental things we can do as well without even knowing they were going to be. And so I just wanted to talk about that because literally 4 days after her daughter got out of that bath, she couldn't speak properly anymore. And she's 4 years old. And the mum is very clued up, and she thought back, what on earth has happened to my child? And then she twigged the glitter. So I'm saying, Mark, heavy metals or metals, whatever are in that glitter, have done something to her. But the mother has taken a lot of steps to detox that out of her daughter's body, and she is a lot better now. But one of the things that I'd suggested to her was to try a boo bath recently, once I found out about it. And she did say that some more glitter has come out of her daughter's skin from doing the boo bath. And I've just, she's not quite 100% back to her full self yet, but the differences in her speech were quite remarkable. So we have to be really careful, don't we?
Yes, and then when we talk about bathing, a lot of people buy these foaming baths, at the dollar store, and foaming baths have surfactants, which are chemicals to make the bubbles, and these chemicals are absorbed when you're actually taking these bubble baths. So you got to really be careful when you're talking about bathing your largest organ of the body into an agent. You got to know what's in it, and then the awareness is being able to say, oh, there's coloring in this, there's surfactants,
Yeah.
there's other kind of agents, and you look at the label and you say, okay, if I can't read what's in it, so certainly not good for me, at any quantity in a tub, especially if you raise the water temperature really hot, so the absorption is at the maximum. So
Yeah.
balneotherapy therapy is to actually have good minerals that will actually go into your skin. It's balneotherapy in Europe. You had the silts baths and the Dead Sea baths, and they have all the minerals from the earth. And then that's the important thing of balneotherapy, is to be able to absorb those minerals as quickly as possible through the largest organ of the skin. Because if you take it as a supplement, that's fine, but we have to look at your diet. We have to look at how your digestive system is working. Is it clogged? Are you overweight? Are you taking medication? There's a lot of correlations in the supplementation. It might take a little longer, but I can guarantee you that in my practice, when everybody came to my clinic, the first thing they did was a mud bath, even prior to my treatment, because you start that detox process and make sure that there's good circulation. I can do better mobilization. Well, it's the same thing at home. If you're doing a bath with something in it, you got to make sure that you have something that is natural. And then the best of the best, and I don't want to be pretentious, but this humic fulvic, which is completely hydrosoluble, has that ability to penetrate. Because of the humic particle being the carbon in all the minerals, you have the fulvic, which is the adaptogen and the transporter of nutrients. So it really binds these minerals and brings them into the bloodstream and into the cell. And it takes 10 minutes to do. And so you have a very, very powerful therapeutic bath in the privacy of your own home. And you know, contraindication is the heat. Of course, you know, if you're intolerant to the heat, what I usually tell people is you start slow and you raise the water temperature with every bath that you're taking. You don't have to kill, do a hate kill and you know, I really want it at 40 degrees Celsius. No, you know, you start at 28, 32, 40. You get that adaptogenic purposes of humic you'll be able to tolerate. I remember even my patients, geez, that was hot. And then when they came in 5 times during the week, the 5th day, they said, "Was that the same temperature?" I said, "No, as a matter of fact, it's 5 degrees hotter." And they would say, "Oh my God, you know, I'm getting used to this, and I love this." And you know, they'd sweat more. And even the experience of somebody who wanted to stop smoking, and I put him in a bath for 20 minutes, and then I wrapped him up in a cotton sheet and put him in the room, and he fell asleep. Well, I came into the room, and you know, I opened the door, and the only thing I could smell was nicotine, because the
Oh,
body was detoxing, and we had that smell of nicotine in the treatment room. And I said, "Do you smell that?" And he says, "Yeah, I smell that." That's your body detoxing. And so,
how,
you know, the proof is in the pudding. You know, you go out, and I suggest that people do it slow. You know, if you're used to taking hot baths, but then there's no problem. But the other thing too is to take after your 20-minute bath is to take, you know, a 20-minute rest. You know, just wrap yourself in a cotton sheet or go lay down in your bath, or you know, put on a bathrobe and just relax for 20 minutes. You might go into a deep sleep, and you can do meditations, you can do Reiki treatments, because you absorbed all the energy of this Mother Earth product, and you're able to do these types of treatments. If you're a therapist and listening to this is a great prerequisite to a Reiki treatment, a meditation, or even yoga. Because you know, we've activated circulation, you get a better stretching and better results in the exercise. So all in all, it's beneficial.
well, Mark, I've got one more story that I want to talk about that's a very positive one.
Yeah.
When I first came across your product in May 2021, I had no idea exactly how beneficial it could be at that point in time, having no personal experience and no testimonies yet of my own people.
Yes.
So one of my friends I'd met on the internet, he asked me, would it help his niece who had no hair? She had complete alopecia. She had had that since she was 9, when she fell over and bashed her head. And the doctors had tried everything with her. They tried steroid creams, steroids. They tried everything that they tried. Nothing had made the difference. And she was now, I think she was 18. And I just said, look, I am not sure if it will help her hair or not, but it's not going to do her any harm. So it's worth a try, you know? And he's like, okay, well, we'll try anything, because the doctors are talking about putting her on disease modifying medication for rheumatoid arthritis as an experiment, not an experiment on her, but as a way to see if that would help her stimulate hair growth. And he was like, we'll try this and maybe, you know, see how she gets on. So he'd given her the bag, and she had tried taking it orally, but she wasn't keen on doing that. So she thought, no, I'll just try putting it in my bath, right? And this was back in 2021 with the old boo. So she literally put 1/4 teaspoon in her bath, had it a bath in it every second night, made sure she put her head in the water. And after a couple of weeks, her hair started growing back in.
You know, that's amazing. You know,
She now she now has a full head of hair, and she never needed to go on those disease modifying drugs. So that to me is amazing in a lot of ways, because I know that you recommend putting in a more quantity of fulvic and humic, but there must have been just enough that she was getting just enough minerals or
yeah.
something like straight into her scalp, which is a very well blood supplied part of the body. There's a really rich blood flow there. So it must have just been enough.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just so everybody knows, on this Zoom, this is a lifestyle. I shave my hair. I have hair, and it's just, you know, say we're talking about baldness and losing your hair, but actually I do have hair, which just is a different style that I have, and then you know, uh, just a sideline, just to Just
Well,
stop.
on that part, before I started drinking boo, before 2021, before then, my hair was thinning a lot, a lot. And I thought, this is terrible. I don't know what's going on with me. What do I do? And it wasn't something I was particularly looking to correct by starting on the fulvic and humic acid, but there's nothing wrong with the thickness of my hair now. It's all come back
No,
properly.
no.
And
You know,
I'm just so delighted about
and while we're on the subject of hair, you can actually do a poultice. You know, you can put a mixture of the fulvic in a mud form, put it on your head, and put a bathing cap while you're bathing. That's a great treatment also for alopecia and loss of hair because it'll increase the microcirculation on the top of the hair. We did that in the spa also, and of course you can apply a facial mask. You know, the humidity of the steam of the water will keep it hydrated, and you can do a 20-minute mask. So actually, you know, you can do a lot of things while you're 20 minutes in the tub, you know,
it.
and so the add-ons are a benefit. So if you schedule a 20-minute time outside of detoxing, maybe once or twice a week, you have an excellent time to create wellness in your body, and you know, keep yourself young.
Yeah. And would you recommend it for people with eczema, psoriasis, skin conditions as a first way to use it, or as a alongside drinking, or what, how do you fit it in with skin conditions?
Well, for balneotherapy, I would not have hot water. I would do it lukewarm, and I would add lavender essential oils. That would actually, you know, reduce the redness and the itching and the irritation caused by those types of problems. But then I would definitely put a poultice on certain areas that are aggressive on the skin, you know, prior to taking the bath. And then instead of cleaning it off, I would go into the tub with lukewarm water and add lavender oil and enjoy that 20 minutes of relaxation. But
Sure.
not, I would not put it at, you know, very hot, because then it's too aggressive on, you know, skin irritation. So
On
that
delicate skin that's
correct.
not even like normal functioning skin. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
We want to be careful.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people ask things like if there's chlorine in the tap water or if there's fluoride in it, is it still safe to use that in the bath alongside the fulvic acid? And I've been saying yes.
Well, my answer is yes, because you know, fulvic chelates. So, you know, we have no choice. You have tap water unless you want, you know, distilled water and you can afford to do it, or, you know, have a filter on your tub where you know, you sterilize the chemicals are in the water. But, you know, at the quantities that you'll find in ppms, part per millions of chlorine and all that, you know, the fulvic will chelate it. And so you're getting a much more beneficial reward to the 70 minerals than just the chlorine in the water. So yeah.
And is ideal number of times per week, or does it just very much depend on the person, what their needs are?
Well, when we talk
Right.
about detoxing, you know, detoxing is you got to do it regularly. So we do 21 days of bathing. Uh, that's very important because, you know, you got to go into systemic mode and detox mode, and you got to do it every day. But in my personal case, I take 1 to 2 baths a week, and so it's you know, it's in my regimen, and people can start doing that. Like I said, your downtime, it could be 2 days a week, 1 day a week. You know, as long as you do it at least once a week, where you take your 20 minutes and do the balneotherapy. That is my recommendation.
Great. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think we're all bathed out with questions here now at my end. So
Well, that's what's fantastic. I know it's a short and sweet thing, and I think it's very informative. And you know, people will post this, and if there's any other questions, we can answer. But I really appreciate the call, and I thank you very much to be on this again and talk about your experience. And we'll certainly talk about other subjects as we go along.
definitely. Thank you so much, Mark. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Bye.